If you have a strong motivation and a strong positive attitudes towards learning this language, definitely you will move faster and better than the person who lacks motivation and lacks positive attitude. I remember just 2.5 years back when I started my English fluency journey. So that time I also had this same question in my mind, that how much time it is going to take to become fluent in English speaking. And frankly speaking, I had no idea about it. I had no clue about it. But still, I continued my journey. I used to put in lots of time, energy, effort in listening, in reading, in listening audiobooks, in listening to the lectures, my favorite YouTubers, my favorite mentors. I used to listen a lot. I used to practice pronunciation, I used to repeat the phrases, the sentences, and many more things I used to do that time. Keeping this thing in my mind that I have to speak this language the way I want to speak it, so that I can express my thoughts, my values, my information, my ideas, all the things I can express the way I can express in my mother tongue. Only that was my objective, my purpose. So now, on the basis of my personal experience and learning, I am going to focus on this particular topic, that how much time it normally takes to become fluent in English speaking. Understand that the amount of time it takes to become fluent in English speaking, it varies from person to person. It is not same for all, okay? Because it depends on a variety of factors, and these factors, listen very carefully, these factors will decide how much time you will take to become fluent in English speaking. So let's understand what are these factors. What are these factors that will decide how much time you will take to become fluent in English speaking? Let's understand one by one. The first factor is your starting level of English proficiency. What do I mean by this? Understand very carefully. If you already have a basic understanding of the language, basic understanding means you already have a general idea about the basic vocabulary words, how to form sentences, the sentence formation knowledge, the parts of speech like noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, all these things. At the same time, you also have a general knowledge of pronunciation, like commonly used words, how to pronounce those words. So if you already have a basic understanding of the language, you will naturally find it easier to develop fluency than the person who is starting from the scratch. On the other hand, if you have a weak foundation, the foundation is weak, the foundation is not that much strong, you will naturally find it a little struggling than the person who has strong foundation. So the point here is, if you have a weak foundation, first of all you need to start working on your foundation, the basics that need to be strong enough, then you can move further. So the point that I want to highlight here is, right now if you know that no, my sentence structure knowledge is not good, I don't know the basic vocabulary words, I don't have a little bit idea about the pronunciation, or I don't know how to form sentences, noun, pronoun, verb, I don't know at all. So this is the right time, this is the high time that you have to start working on your foundation first. That is the first thing you need to start. And that is why your starting level of English proficiency, it plays a vital role in how quickly you become fluent in English speaking. The second factor is your exposure to the target language. How do I mean by exposure? Let's understand. The amount of time you spend with the language and the quality of input that you receive in that language, that is called its exposure. Now let's understand this in a very simple way, like how much time you are listening in that language, how much time you are listening in that language, how much time you are reading in that language, how much time you are using that language in your speaking, okay? Overall, how much time you are spending with that language overall, okay? So that's how you can increase your exposure, that's how you're exposing yourself to the language. And scientifically it is proven that the more exposure you have to the target language, the better and faster you are going to learn and absorb its grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and sentence pattern, and the intonation. And that is why your exposure to the target language, it plays a very important role in how quickly you become fluent in English speaking. So the point that I want to highlight here is, anyhow you have to increase your exposure to the language, because the more and more exposure to the language, more and more understandable input you will receive, the faster and better you will move towards fluency. Now let's talk about the third factor, how consistently and frequently you practice. Somebody said it very well, that learning a language is like a plant. Consistency is the water that keeps it alive, and frequency is the sunlight. Frequency is the sunlight that helps it grow. Now let's understand this in a very simple way. What do I mean by consistency? Understand that consistency means doing something regularly, on a regular basis, on a regular schedule, okay, and sticking to a routine. That is what is called consistency. It is not something you are doing one day and you are not doing for several months. It's not consistency, okay. On the other hand, frequency means how often you do something. That is what is called frequency. Now just imagine for a moment that you want to get better at playing a musical instrument like the guitar. You want to get better at playing it. Now if you practice that guitar once in a day, or once in a month, or once in 2 months, definitely will not be able to move that much. You will not be able to be that much better, right? But if you practice a little bit, like 30 minutes every day on a regular basis, you will definitely get the benefit. You will definitely see the progress over time. Same with your English. In one day, if you practice many hours English, listening, reading, and this and that, repetition, everything you are doing in one day, whole day you are doing that, and then you forget about it just for the next week or for a month. There is no connection between English and you. English is there and you are there. Nothing is going to happen. So that way, if you are inconsistent, if you do inconsistency, then definitely you are not going to get the result. But if you think the opposite, if you practice just for 30 minutes, just for 1 hour, just for 2 hours, every day on a regular basis, you just imagine for a moment what is going to happen. It is going to change remarkably. You are going to get a significant improvement, visible improvement in the way of your speaking, in the way of your understanding, in the way of your listening. At the same time, the way you feel your confidence, it will be boosted up. So understand the power of consistency, the frequency. The more consistently you work, the more consistently, the frequently you work on this language, the better and faster you'll move towards fluency. Nobody can stop you. That is how I'm practicing. That is how I'm doing my work. That is why I'm getting the result. I'm improving faster. I'm getting improvement in my speaking. That is why these two important factors, your consistency and your frequency, play a very important role in how quickly you become fluent in English speaking. So the point that I want to highlight here is, if you are really serious, if you are genuinely serious with the progress of your English speaking fluency, you must be serious with your consistency and frequency with the language. Be consistent and be frequent with your practice. The fourth factor is your motivation and your attitude towards speaking. A study was done by the University of California. They found that the people who are motivated to learn a new language are more likely to succeed than the people who are less motivated. A British writer, Winston Churchill, said, "Attitude is a small thing, but it makes a big difference." So first of all, let's understand what is motivation and what is attitude. Motivation means your desire, the willingness, the driving force that you feel from within to do something. That is what is your motivation. For example, if you have a strong motivation to improve your English because you want to go abroad, you want to study abroad, that's why you need to improve your English, or you want to communicate easily and effectively at your workplace, so that can be a great motivator, that can be a very powerful motivator for you. On the other hand, attitude means how you think and feel about something, how you look at something. That is what is your attitude. So if you have a strong motivation and strong positive attitudes towards learning this language, definitely you will move faster and better than the person who lacks motivation and lacks positive attitude. So the point that I want to highlight here is, find your strong motivation, your own objective, your own purpose, the reason, and then keep a positive attitude towards learning. You will move forward, you will move faster than ever before. The fifth factor is your learning style and strategies. Understand that we all are human beings. We all are human beings. We learn the same thing but not necessarily in the same way. It might be different. It is not same. So the learning style and strategies of a language, it also varies from person to person. So some people learn better by speaking with others. Some people learn better by listening to others, listening audiobooks, listening YouTube videos, listening songs, listening lectures. So that way they learn better. Or some people may learn better by reading articles, reading newspaper, reading this and that. So it depends, okay? Or at the same time, it may be that some people learn by like mixture of all these, so it can be anything. So the point here is, you have to find out your own learning style and strategies that work better for you. That is why your learning style and strategies also play a crucial role in how fast you will move towards fluency. So the point here is, try to find out your own learning style and strategies that work the best for you and practice that way. So to be very precise answer to this question, if you ask me that, Rajiv, how much time does it take to become fluent in English speaking? I would say that I don't have any straightforward answer to this question. It varies from person to person because it depends on a variety of factors that I already discussed here. Just keep this thing in mind, that no matter at which level you are, your exposure, your motivation, your frequency, your consistency, and ultimately your never give up positive attitude will decide how much and how better way and how faster you will move towards your fluency. And never forget, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Lao Tzu.